earlier today, as we were dialoguing and debating about the downsizing, the word reform came up. Well, this is an opportunity to call for reform at the jail.
Don't gag the urban voice of people who believe so passionately in this issue and are speaking on behalf of those who even gave up their time to be here today, who are being given voice by their representatives. And on practical matters, it's 12 days till the next Public Safety Committee, and even if something were done in that committee, it's 21 days till the next session. I would say time is of the essence.
But we've had 3 suicides in 3 months. All 3 young white male. I think all 3 had families with young children, 1 a veteran, and all 3 were not from the city of Buffalo. They were suburban. So I'm standing trying to protect the inmates that are killing themselves, that as they stand right now are coming from outside of Buffalo, coming from the suburbs. Why? Because it's not a city suburban issue, it's an Erie County issue. And it must be addressed, because you know what, we're part of county government. When they write in the newspaper, they don't say the county executive one part, the county attorney one part, and legislator one part. They said Erie County government has failed. They don't separate us.
Along with the rest of the residents in this county, what is happening in the jail, and some of the things that have been suggested through the newspapers and by email, etc. So I'm concerned that if we send this out, it's just going to intimidate in some way the sheriff and his personnel, and we'll never see him in the chambers anymore.
I'm at a loss for what to do, I'm afraid. Everybody is concerned about this. I do, however, echo Legislator Mills' comments about resolutions that call for something and really have no teeth in them. And that's not a criticism of the sponsors of this resolution or the resolution or the passion of the sponsors, because I certainly identify with that. And as I indicated in caucus this morning, I'm wrestling with this. I want to do something. I want to know what our role is, and I'm coming up empty.
This morning in caucus, first thing when I got there, Madam Chairman, I asked for the sheriff to come over and explain. I mean, we had a committee meeting Monday, and from Monday till Thursday, we've had a tragedy. Let's get to the core of the problem. Somebody said, are we relevant here? Well, we have the tools to be relevant. But what the crux of this matter is to have an independent review of the Erie County Holding Center. 3 suicides since December. And I mean, it's very obvious that there's a management, there's some, procedurally, there is something wrong.
In addition to that, I came over into the Republican caucus to present this, and I was shown the door. I don't know by who, by some staff. I don't know where she is.
Doesn't matter.
She said, would you leave, please? That's exactly what she said to me. I managed to speak with Legislator Hardwick before she showed me the door, but then when I said, I've come to talk to Legislator Mills about this subject, he's not here, he's in a meeting, I need to show you the door. And she walks me out the door, and I said, well, at least would you please give this to him? And I didn't hear anybody roll up their sleeves and come back to my office and say, let me work with you on this, Legislator White. I have some concerns about the amendment that you've proposed, but let me just try to work at it. Instead, everybody wants to throw holes in what I've brought to the table. Go ahead, throw holes, but come up with something else. Don't just say we should do nothing. Don't move forward with it. I mean, seriously, what is your suggestion? Let's hear it. Spend it in committee another 3.5 hours so that the county attorney can silence the people we bring over? To what end?
Really, do we need to discharge it? Because the entire basis of this ridiculous introduction, this resolution that's not worth the paper it's written on, is about getting camera time, getting radio time. It's about politics, it's not about policy. If Legislator Waite is unhappy with the policy that's going on with the sheriff, she should run for sheriff, not county legislator. When the budget time rolls around and we have time to look at this and put more money into the jails, well, I hope she's just as outraged. I hope she's ready to put her money where her mouth is, because $3 million was created out of thin air last year by this Democratic majority, and none of it was spent on the jails.
And I also wanted to just take this time to point out that Legislator Walter is incorrect, that the Democratic majority did make amendments to the sheriff's budget, and that in the 2010 proposed budget, we added the position for both the electrician and the plumber at the jail, and that those were important positions so that we could help get the cells back online. And that in the testimony that was provided during the budget hearings, what we learned was that it was not quick enough to go through DPW, that the work orders placed by the sheriff and the jail management division through DPW to get those jail cells back online was not happening expeditiously enough, and as a result, the sheriff was having to place people in overcrowding situations without the appropriate degree of separation.
A little dismayed that we're continually being stifled by duly appointed county officials. I just want to remind folks that as a body, we have the power to subpoena these officials to come in and testify regarding issues that impact the entire Erie County.
We have the power to subpoena. We haven't used it, but I think because of the mood and because of the frustration of not getting answers from the people at the top, I think there's going to be a movement to say if they're not going to be willing to work with us, you know, and 2 years ago, the county executive says, I want to have a better working relationship with the county legislature, and that's never happened. So if we have to use that power, I think we're going to use it.
Would you support a subpoena action, bring them in to discuss that?
That's not necessary, and I don't think the county attorney has denied us the information. She just doesn't want it in public when there's litigation going on. If we went into executive session and she could present that information to us, I'm sure she would. The problem is that with their pending litigation, it would be irresponsible to discuss that on the floor of the legislature in a public forum. There was some information that was provided, and there can be more, but that's something that, you know, we should continue to work with the administration with. Calling them out publicly, you know, for political points, I don't think is appropriate.